Today we're going to be taking a look at some recently released Apex Mobile 2.0 gameplay and a bunch of other really interesting things about the game. Now, if you guys are a little out of the loop, Tencent has been remaking their own version of Apex Mobile called High Energy Heroes. Now, the game is not a second version of Apex, but as you guys can see by this second gameplay trailer they released, they have the same characters, they have the same maps, they have the same weapons. This is obviously Pathfinder, as you're about to see. This is obviously the R301. They're not the same names, obviously, because that would be copyright infringement. And I'm not even sure what's going to happen to this game because it is a very obvious second version of Apex Mobile. And I gotta be honest, it looks really freaking clean. Like, this is some gameplay they have released, Tencent themselves, on the Chinese YouTube platform Bilibili, which we will check out in a second. But bro, they got jump pads. They got the Mastiff, they got the Kraber, they got zip lines, like they got it all. And it looks good. It looks like it runs smooth. I mean, obviously, they're only gonna like play the game on the highest of the devices, but it is got a lot of talk recently going on in the mobile community about it, because apparently this is only going to be released in China, and I have some pretty strong points to back that up. But still, we'll just, it's so good. It's so clean. I mean, bro, this is literally World's Edge. Like, oh my gosh. It's the same map. Everything just looks slightly different. Oh man. It just looks, oh, I miss it. I miss it. I miss it. But that is the second gameplay trailer that Tencent has released. Shout out to the Leaker bot for reposting it on their channel. Whew. And as you can see, everything is in Chinese though, which might be the first indication that something is a little bit off about this game, or at least a little bit different from normal games that get released on mobile. Now, this is just gameplay that was on Bilibili, and if you don't know what that is, it is basically China's YouTube search platform engine. It's where people upload videos there, but from the outside of China, you can still look up videos, and people are already posting early guides, early tutorials of things like wall jumping. I can't read what they are saying in Chinese, but it's very obvious this is wall jumping. They'll show wall climbing in just a second, but I don't want people to get too ahead of themselves. I know there's a lot of other creators out there who've been talking about they're going to be playing the game. I have no intentions of ever getting my hands on this game because for multiple reasons, it looks like this game is only ever going to be released in China. With the actual App Store listing is up currently on the iOS App Store. You can go see it, pre-register it, but you can only do so if you live in China and have a Chinese Play Store account. And once again, it makes a lot of sense because this is obviously a direct ripoff of Apex Legends Mobile. They're not trying to hide it. And they've done a really good job of recreating Apex Mobile. But I think if they tried to release this game in any other countries, then it would be an interesting battle with EA and with Respawn of IP and copyright and all that fun stuff. But you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, well, hey, I can just make myself a little Chinese Apple account, Google account, and we'll get playing when the game globally launches. And people are thinking right now the game might globally launch around October, which is really cool. However, Chinese mobile games operate a little differently than most of the other global mobile games, and that the only way you can sign into an account is through either QQ or WeChat. Now, these are two, I believe, Chinese social media platforms that are only able to be used by Chinese citizens. Like, as someone who doesn't live in China, I can't just make a WeChat account or a QQ account. You have to like live in China and prove you live in China and have a Chinese phone number. And from my experience and talking with other creators, it is notoriously super difficult to get your hands on one of these logins. Like, you'd have to know someone who lives in China to be able to play this game. And for me, that just is a ton of hoops to jump through. Obviously, I miss Apex Mobile. In hindsight, by no means was I ever happy the game shut down. It definitely had its good days and its bad days. But seeing this gameplay makes me miss it more than ever, and I'd love to get back on and play Apex Mobile. But obviously, there are a lot of risks involved of trying to go out and just getting access to a game like this that's not supposed to have access in other countries outside of China. So definitely people are probably going to be getting access to it. I know people like Rose Smith and IMO, they keep saying they're going to be able to find a way to get to play the game. And if they do, fantastic, and I'll probably take a look at their gameplay. But as far as myself getting access to the game goes, it's just, and for really anyone else watching this video, there's a very slim chance any of us are actually gonna be able to play the game. But considering the mobile scene right now, just everyone misses Apex Mobile. This is kind of like it's like rubbing salt in the wounds Still definitely going to cover it, keep you guys up to date. But just taking a look at some things the game is already doing. IMO tweeted a few days ago, Apex Mobile 2, where basically High Energy Heroes is already having tournaments. This is from Tencent. Everything is in Chinese, so I won't be able to read anything. But apparently it's a few $1,000s, or maybe they're just tournaments that are hosting. But these right here, these Q9, I know that's a really big team, AG, Nova. These are all really big professional esports teams in China. And the fact that they're running tournaments with professional, legitimate teams before the game is even out, phenomenal. Like, I gotta say, they're handling everything right. Really cool to see that there will be tournaments and some fun things out of the gate for people who can play this game. And speaking of which, this is what the App Store preview looks like. Now this, if you look at the URL, it is actually the Chinese App Store. And this is what the page looks like if I don't translate it. But if we translate it and we go take a look at it, we can read some of the broken translation. High Energy Hero, it's made by Tencent. And then you can see it's the official Tencent because all the other games are currently developing and working on. So the game is able to be pre-registered for at the moment. And once again, people are thinking October is around a likely release date. It's only 2 gigs in file size, and usually Tencent does make a lot of very well optimized games, so I am pretty jealous. But it's a hero tactical competitive mobile game. You'll become heroes with different personalities and possess different combat skills. But I mean, that screenshot right here, it's just World's Edge. This screenshot too, World's Edge. This, like, all these screenshots are like very much the World's Edge map. And I mentioned the website Bilibili earlier. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically the YouTube but for China. And this right here is the translation for High Energy Hero. So if you look it up, you can see this thing is 2.5 million views. The original trailer is 2 million views. The second trailer that we just reacted to has 300,000 views. There's already like 100,000 people who are have reserved for this game. And then apparently, yes, as the recruitment for High Energy Heroes is open, the event will share 100,000 won in rewards. So it looks like that might be the tournament we just saw. And there's a ton of gameplay videos being posted. Look, wait, this is IMO. It's a video, like it says, what is the reputation of High Energy Heroes abroad? Let's take a look at the evaluation of YouTube bloggers. So it looks like people are getting our reactions outside of the country. And obviously we're all hyped because this is a game we were just playing a little while ago. But there's a bunch of gameplay surfacing, and now that I think there's a limited closed beta test going on. And then if you click on the actual app, they're bringing you to Bilibili Game, which I think they have their own like games marketplace, so you can reserve for it. You could see there's 5,000 reviews, but it looks like people probably are not excited that the game isn't out yet. And overall, just very, I mean, look, this video has 300,000, 100,000. Like, there's so much engagement on this game already, and it's insane. So once again, gamers, I'm stoked to see the progression of this game and how it all turns out. But once again, just keeping it a buck with you, it is virtually impossible for anyone outside of China to get their hands on this game. I would love it if I could get my hands on it and show you guys how to, but it takes either a really long time or it's just really difficult, and you have to have a lot of connections and a lot of resources. And so yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on everything High Energy Heroes or Apex Mobile 2.0. But for now, this is all we have. The gameplay is looking good. It's looking juicy. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.